quick. Yeah, if anyone has some takeaways from that call that Leslie led last night on how to work networking groups, business professional networking groups, please jump off and share your thoughts.
I can share. That was such an awesome call. I took like 10 pages of notes. I loved that joining these networking groups really gives us a platform to like freely share what we have to offer. And yeah, I just learned, that you have of what you need to look for in a group. I don't have my notes on me, but usually like there's a little skin in the game. You might have to pay a little bit of money to be part of it, but you want to look for a group that has an exclusive space just for you, being a health expert or, whatever. So I love that. And then, there was some great tips of different groups that you can join. Leslie Zan's first tip was Google network groups in my area. So, there's no excuse to not find one. And some of the other takeaways that if you're going to do it, make sure it's in a convenient location and a convenient time for you, because showing up consistently really gives you authority in that group. And yeah, so those are just a couple of my takeaways.
Great takeaways. I also really loved how Leslie talked about once you meet them in the networking group to like create the relationship outside of that group, because that's what network marketing is, right? Going the extra mile to build that extra relationship. And I loved how she always emphasized, let them talk first so that you can really listen and then lead the conversation from there. I don't know if you guys have ever heard that quote, but the person listening the most is the person leading the conversations, because they are getting the cues of how to relate to people. So I thought that was a really good tip. Anyone else want to share their tips from the call last night? Or takeaways, I guess?
Hey, I can just share real quick, Mayor. I actually looked up BNI groups, business, I don't even know what that stands for, BNI. But there was one that was nearby. It's actually online, but that was the kind of local online one for me. So I'm doing my first meeting with them this Friday at 7 a.m. And I had a really great coffee conversation with a friend this morning. So just putting the tips into action. And I really loved Melissa Hansen's tips in the beginning of the call as far as hitting those UBTs. So that was really helpful.
Awesome. And we will be going over those tips again. And Rita, I'm glad that you said that you're already in action, because Leslie already, she always says a leader is distinguished by the gap that they close between an idea or an action that they hear and the time that they take to put it in place. So right after that call, Rita was already Googling BNI and she's already got her meeting set up. So you see how success leaves clues. Beautiful. So let's take one more takeaway before we get started.
I was going to say that at the beginning of the call, I loved the simplicity of asking questions. It did help me with my neighbor that was helping me with the jump today. And I was asking her, and we got really good in a conversation specifically about nutrition and regenerative health. And she's, that helped me not be so scared to talk about health, with somebody. And it was somehow it just clicked with me and it worked.
Yeah, it's so much easier to ask questions, because sometimes we're like, I don't know how to sell it. I don't know how to talk about it. I don't know how to just ask questions. And typically they start the conversation for you. So that's awesome takeaway, Philip. Thank you. All right, we got some people jumping on. So if you're just jumping on, take a minute. We're inviting 3 people each from our teams to come to this call, because it's going to be a phenomenal call. We're going to talk all about UBT, and we're going to have some great people sharing. We're going to go over the UBT Summer Accelerator so that we can all really sink into this idea of just massively hitting UBT this summer and allowing our businesses to take off from the generous promotions that corporate is offering. So go ahead and drop a 10 in the chat if you feel like you totally understand the UBT Accelerator Summer promo, and then drop like a 5 if you're kind of clear, but you'd like some more dialogue around it. All right, Brittany's okay. All right, I'm seeing some 5s, I'm seeing some 10s. Okay, great. Well, we're going to go over it again anyway. So the 10 people, repetition is key, and you can just share this with your teams if they're not here. So I'm going to drop the link, but as most of you know, we have the amazing Business Purium blog. Anytime there's a promotion, you can always go to that blog, and it'll be like one of the most recent articles that they've posted, and you can read and get the details. So there's the blog article for you to save in your personal board, or I'm pretty sure it's in boards as well. And the deal is, it's pretty phenomenal, you guys. So we all know that if you get 3 qualifying packs in a week, you get those 500 extra points, right? And if you get 10 in a month total, you get 1,000 extra points. Well, what corporate is doing is they're saying if you get 6 UBT over the whole month, they're going to give you not only those 500 each week for getting 3 one week, 3 the next, but they're also going to give you an additional 600 points. So that's like an additional 100 points per UBT. So what is that right there? That's 1,100 extra points for getting 6 UBT in a month. And then on top of that, you're going to get $100 bonus. So I'm going to share my screen so that you can really see this. I'm a super visual person. But there it is, 6 UBT qualifiers, get $100 and get an extra 600 points. You get 10 in the month, you're going to earn $200, and then you're going to get an extra 1,000 points. So you're going to get the original 1,000 points that they give you, plus another 1,000. So if you hit 3 a week, that's what, 2,000 points plus the additional 2,000 points they're giving you. So that's 4,000 free points for getting 10 UBT in a month. Drop like a 8 if this is exciting you. Because when I saw this, I'm like, holy smokes, this is a lot of points that are on the table. And then 15, this is the real kicker. If you go above and beyond, you implement this language that we're going to be teaching on this call, you can get an extra 1,500 points. So I think Debbie Darling or Donna did the math the other day, and it was like an extra 5,000 points, free points that the company's giving if you hit 15 in a month. So I love that we are changing the script a little bit in terms of, don't just go for 3 UBTs a week, 1 total, like go for these bigger numbers of 6, 10, 15, and really see your business grow. And then additionally, you'll get $400. So that is something amazing. Something to note with the cash bonuses is they're not cumulative. So if you get that first 6, you'll get $100 bonus. You get the next 10, they'll give you an additional $100 bonus to hit $200. And then if you get the 15, you'll get another $200 to equal 400 in total. But the points are cumulative. So you get 600 for 6, then you're going to get 1,000 in total for 10 and 1,500 for 15. So how does that sound? Is that making a little bit more sense to everyone? Drop a 2. It's really quite simple. Awesome. And if you need more dialogue, text your upline, check out that blog, but that's basically it. Shoot for a minimum of 6 UBT this month. If you've never hit UBT before, if you're pretty much in the flow of UBT, go for 10, go for 15, and see your business pop off as you start to duplicate that in your team as well. So the other thing I wanted to go over is just the qualifications for UBT. So we're all very clear. You personally need to have a 50-point order on file to be able to hit UBT. So sometimes people are like, my points aren't coming through. Why is that? Always check the smart order. Make sure that your personal smart order is in place. And then obviously the customers or the brand partners that are signing up need to have the smart order of at least 50 BV as well to qualify. And if you're curious to figure out, well, what are the UBT qualifying packs? They feel like they're always changing. This information is all in boards for you. So if you want to get out your phone, go to boards, go to the Purium official board. There's a module right there that says sharing Purium. and then you'll go to all products, and you'll see right there, it says UBT packs. And you click on that, and it tells you exactly which packs qualify for UBT. So you can, modulate if you have someone that wants to do the holistic fitness pack or the family nutrition pack or the 3-pack of the fruit and veggie pack. It's all there. Thank you, Daniela, for copying and pasting it. So I'll say that again. You go to Sharing Purium, all products, UBT packs. And you can simply share that with your teammates too, in case there's any questions with that. So drop off 4 if that's making sense. Okay, awesome. All right, basic logistics. Now we're going to get into the fun part. This is where you need to get your notebooks, you guys, because we have some really amazing shares happening today. So our first 2 shares are from 2 people who just hit the fast start ranks via UBT. I'm going to bring on our first share, Shannon, who hit Fast Start Director last month, and she got the 6 UBT. So she got that $100 bonus. She got those extra 600 points, and she hit Fast Start Director with that. So Shannon, thank you for coming on this call. And I would just love to hear from you. What are a little bit of your takeaways in terms of how you utilized UBT to really hit that Fast Start Director? Welcome to the team.
Thank you. Thank you. It's very exciting. I think enthusiasm, sharing my story, has been probably the best way. Having used the ULT myself, and watching my, friends and family be affected by it, is really a great way. Just talking about it and seeing people seeing that happen in your life. Again, just like you were talking about with the Leslie Zann thing, talking to people about themselves, just loving people, I always call it. But them knowing your story, and I'm not selling something. They're just listening to what I'm saying about what's going on in my life, or I'm listening to them about what's going on in their life. So, with that being said, one of the things that when people do want to make the purchase, the smart order sometimes is an issue. And one of the things I made a mistake is I didn't get my smart order. I misunderstood my smart order. So, I didn't realize it was going to take so long, and, that it was next month, not coming right now and next month. So I always just try to make sure that they understand that to get their smart order in, because, you don't want to be without. I know what it's like. People have seen me when I was just like, oh, worse yet, my significant other. I mean, he's just crazy about not having his thing. So, but not having your product is pretty big. So that I think that makes it easier if you even if it wasn't you can use the simulation of, hey, I know someone that this happened to, and it wasn't fun times. So getting that smart order done so that you're getting your product when you should, is helps with getting the UBTs, because you're getting your full credits. So those things. Now, making a plan, I think, really helped a lot. Just trying to make sure that I am focusing on and projecting the things that I want to happen. So I don't even want to say I see them happening. You don't want to want them because they haven't happened. You see them, you visualize them as already has happened. So that's part of your plan. So when you're doing that, you're visualizing what has happened. You have those emotions. You feel you're in that moment of it. You have success. It's really it creates enthusiasm, and that emotion, you can play on that emotion all the time. So doing that daily and putting that into your daily routine is great. With that, being said, no matter how much time you spend on this business, when you have the plan, you're going to make how much time you're going to spend, and then you spend that amount of time or more, so that makes it a lot easier to follow. You're not trying to crunch it into a schedule that's already set and you don't have it in using your, there's already, we already have all these tools that are there when you're making that schedule. Use your tools that are set there for you, with the company already has, or our ladies that, our community, this beautiful, loving community that we have. That's part of my story, is this beautiful, loving community that we have. Is just that you got your widen your reach. You've got just listening to your leaders and what they say, and watch what they're doing, emulate duplication. Don't break the mold, basically. Try to just use, we've got boards. There's so many things. The smart order, I mean, that's one of the things. Just trying to make sure that people know how easily it can flow, if it's flowing easily for you, because you have it scheduled out and you're following that, power of three, and you're following your leaders. Then I think that's just what made it easier for me, to fall into that path. I think I got something extra too on the call the other night. So, I don't know, yeah. So, and I think it's pretty much that simple, but just the enthusiasm. I mean, and so much easier if you're making that schedule and following that plan, to keep your enthusiasm when you're talking to people. It just kind of falls in line. You don't really have to, you've already made it happen here. You've got it going on here, and you believe that that's what's happening. It's not something that you want. It's not something that you're wishing for. It's something that's actually been visualized and already occurred. I think that's
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Awesome. Shannon, it's so great to see a brand new Fast Start director embody the mental state that we're always talking about, of like, you have to see it and just show up confidently and already know it's happening. Melissa Hanson said on the call last night, assume the sale. She's like, I already know it's going to happen because everybody needs this, but you're already holding that posture as a Fast Start director. And something that you guys should write down is so simple. The only wording she's using to get people on smart order is, believe me, you want to set up a smart order because you don't want to run out. I've done that and it was terrible. You don't want to run out. That's all she's saying. And that's working for her. And so one thing, Shannon, that you told me was that she hasn't had one person so far say no to a smart order. And her mom is her brand partner, and her mom is experiencing that same situation because Shannon has already normalized it for her. And I think she said her mom maybe had one person that didn't put a smart order on file. So Shannon already, as a Fast Start director, is just normalizing smart orders, what you're doing. And she's not coming up against any kind of head game with people like, oh, but they don't want to. Like, she's like, everybody wants to. I haven't even had an issue with it, because she's showing up with that confidence. She's making it simple. Don't run out of your product. Let me tell you, I did. It wasn't good. Let's get you set up. And I think, Shannon, you also told me that you're sometimes taking people's information and credit card information and moving them through the process.
Yes. So whenever I just try to make it easier. And I mean, it started with just like you said, yeah, my mom, like, she doesn't have a lot of older people that they don't want to deal with the computer or whatever it might be, or it's just, or even there's just so much vast information coming to us digitally that we're all just getting inundated and tired of dealing with it. So a lot of times it's just a relief for people because they're afraid they're going to make a mistake, or they're not going to do the right thing, and then we're going to have to deal with that. So it's a lot easier just to go ahead and offer your services. So it's just a service that you're offering them free of charge to, help them out by making life easier and putting in their information. Just grab their credit card information and go ahead and put it in for them. And don't forget, before you get to that point, something I forgot, you have to ask and it is given. I mean, there's lots of people that say this, it's biblical, if you ask for the sale, you're more likely to receive that. Also be willing to receive that. Don't be afraid to ask though. Don't go at it timidly. Doesn't mean you have to like bombard them, but whenever you ask for the sale, just be confident in it. Don't be, you have something that's worthy, whether they want it or not, or right now is doesn't matter. Don't be like, well, it's this much, I know it's a lot, or anything like that. Try to just be like, this is how much it costs. hey, how can we get you started? What can I do to help you? That kind of stuff.
Yeah. Beautiful, Shannon. She's going to take off, fast start director, and she's already built in that value, right? Because it comes back to us and how much we believe in what we're doing, and we believe in our products, and we believe how this can help people. And it's in that confidence. So Shannon, really great job. I'm excited to see you. She hit 6 UBT her first month. Let's see what happens this month. Go for 10, go for 15, go for fast start executive. And yeah, totally talking like a crown. So thank you for jumping on today, Shannon. And next, I'm going to bring on Britney Kinsley, who actually double ranked last month from Fast Start Consultant to Fast Start Executive. And part of her strategy was utilizing UBT. So Britney, I'm going to bring you on as well and say welcome and hello. And yeah, share some of your magic with us.
Hello, thank you so much for having me. Good job, Shannon. It was good to hear from you. Yeah, so I joined Purium, the team, the same time I purchased my ULT. So I didn't have anything. I just immediately started sharing on social media because I wanted to hit that fast start consultant. I love a goal. And so I was moving towards that goal. So I started sharing on social media consistently. Here's what I'm doing. Does anybody want to do it with me? And thankfully, you know, health and fitness and things like that are things that I've already kind of incorporated into my life. So people are expecting it a little bit from me. So I was consistent on social media, which created interest in what I was doing. And then also, I'm really big into, you know, watching stories when I can to see what people are posting about on Facebook or on Instagram. People are posting like, oh, I'm having issues with this or issues with that. And then I just go into their DMs and start a conversation and tell them what I'm doing. You know, obviously you want to always ask about them first. Tell me about this. I'm so sorry that this is something you're dealing with. And then I go into at some point, can I share what I've been doing and what I've experienced through the superfoods? And usually they're like really excited to hear about it. And so then I send the information from there. And then another thing that I had started to do was on Facebook. Every day it sends you a notification about whose birthday it is. And so I never do this, but I just started messaging every single person, whether or not I know who they are or not. I can't remember who half these people are, but I would just DM them and say, hey, happy birthday. Hope it's a great day. How have you been? And then there's been so many conversations that have started, and it's crazy how many people will just say, oh my gosh, I'm sick or struggling with this. And I'm like, oh, interesting. I have something that could maybe help you. And so that's been helping to start new conversations. My friends all know about it. And so they've come to me, you know, they're a little hesitant. People who are closest to you are always, in my experience, a little more like hesitant to join. But at some point they get fed up and get to a point where they want to change and they want to change their life and their health. So that's kind of a little bit of the experience I had this past month. And so offering, okay, you really need to think about doing this cleanse and adding these superfoods into your life. And so a few people have done that. But yeah, I always try to weave what I'm doing into a conversation. If people ask, how have you been? I weave it into the conversation there, and it just goes from there. Always listen, like Shannon talked about. Like we always talk about, listen to what people's goals are. And then for Smart Order, I found it pretty easy to get people to do Smart Order because it's non-negotiable. For me, it's like, you have to do Smart Order. That's part of what we're doing. And so I just immediately say, okay, I'm going to put you on a Smart Order. Well, actually, first of all, when it comes time to them purchasing their ULT, I tell them, hey, can I get on the phone with you or FaceTime or text? And I'm going to order this for you if that's okay, because it can be a little confusing sometimes. And I want to make sure you get all of the things that you are wanting to get. And so usually they're like, yeah, I don't want to fool with that. So I'll have you do it for me. And then I say, great. Okay. And I go through the whole thing. And then I say, I'm going to add you to a Smart Order. And all that does is it keeps you getting your products on time. You keep your discounts, which everyone wants a discount. And it gives you points to get free products for the future. And everyone's like, okay, yeah, put me on that. What do I need to do? And I'm like, okay, most people go on a Core 4. Here's what that is. And then they've all said yes. So I haven't had anybody tell me they don't want to do a smart order, which has been awesome. And yeah, that's kind of what I've done the past, I think it's been a month and a half so far, still moving forward with it. But my mom is on my team as well. So that's part of the reason I was able to double rank, is because she has had incredible results with her ULT, like off every medication, even supplements like vitamin D. Her blood work came back, everything's normal. So her story has been part of the reason I'm able to share as well, because she has such a crazy testimony. And my mom is very well known in the area where she lives, and she works at a hospital. And so she has doctors and people coming in and asking her, what are you doing? Like, we see you've totally changed. And so I've gotten her kind of doing the same thing as well, like offering a smart order and what that is. And so, yeah, she's just been doing that as well. I think she had 7 last month, UBT. So yeah, that's a little bit of what I do.
Yeah, thank you so much, Brittany. And again, like, I'm just amazed that both Shannon and Brittany have been in the business about a month and a half. And do you see their level of posture? They're like, smart order is just our thing. It's normalized. And her mom hit 7 UBT because she shared that, she duplicated it. So remember, whatever you do, your team's going to do. And it's really true. And Brittany, I also love how both of these new people are catching on that it's all about going that extra step for customer service and just being like, hey, let me put this on file for you. Let me do this for you. And a lot of people, the reality is people are busy and they really appreciate, like, hey, thanks for actually jumping on the phone with me and not just trying to sell me something over text, because does that ever really work? So getting on the phone, showing them, what Melissa Hanson keeps saying is, she says, they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And so taking these other extra little steps of listening to them. I love the tip, Brittany, on going into people's stories, because people just talk in their stories, right? And that's the way to listen to them and connect to them and say, hey, I heard you say this, so really listen to people, go that extra step to show them that you're committed to their journey. You're committed to helping them make this work and not avoid any technical glitches that might occur. And I'm just really amazed that you ladies are so early on in your journey and you're already picking up on these things. And it's obviously paying off. Fast Start director, Fast Start consultant, Fast Start executive. So amazing job. Thank you for sharing, Brittany. And I look forward to just continuing to watch your journey and your mama too. So thank you. All right. Okay. Who's getting some good tips already? Drop a 10 if you're like, oh, I'm getting some great tips. And both these women have only been in the biz a month and a half. So amazing. Okay. So now we're going to pivot a little bit, and we're actually going to have a few diamond and above leaders share about UBT language. So Michelle Ricci has started to some really amazing UBT things happening in her downline. She has people who are hitting 13 UBTs, 11 UBTs, 10 UBTs, and consistently every month I'm watching the UBTs in her line grow. And it's partially because of this language that she's coaching and how she's posturing smart order with her team and normalizing it. So we're going to bring on Michelle to open the floor, and then we're going to hear from a couple of her teammates, Amy and Heather. And then we're also going to hear from Laura Guccione, who had 10 UBT the month of April when she was running for Diamond. So Michelle, take it away. Get your
Thanks,
notebooks,
Mary Beth.
everyone.
Yeah. Thanks. Well, gosh, the two that preceded me would really hit the nail on the head, and it is all about normalizing your language and how you're talking to people. And, I made a decision in January that I couldn't just do 30 days at a time, one person at a time. It wasn't sustainable. And the people that I was working with needed more time with me. And so I really started reaching out and talking to people from a 90-day standpoint. Let's go 90 days and then reassess, what you need and just get you stable, get you cleaned up. You don't have to be a practitioner to work with people and have that kind of language. It's, I had gotten a great script about sacred sales, basically, and really just asking a series of 6 or 7 questions that just lead people to tell you why they need this in their lives and how committed they are. And then where to work with them. And so the other thing that I do that one of the ladies preceding me had said is that, just I've had issues with smart orders and credit card sticking and having to go back in twice. And so I just get them set up. Sometimes I just take their name, email, credit card information, and just let them know you're going to be getting an email later tonight from the company that you've signed up. You'll also be getting an email from me. And the smart order is built right into that conversation. If we're already talking about 60 or 90 days, then I let them know your smart order, your next order will already be all set up. You're going to get an email on the 13th letting you know it's going to ship. And I usually put everybody's smart order on the same date, so that somewhere in the middle of the month between when that email goes out, I can have another touch points with my clients. And I think this is also what's duplicating in my downline, because when you hear from Heather and you hear from Amy, you're going to hear about how the retainment is also a byproduct of how, the language precedes it, the 90 days or more of working together, and then, the retainment as the outcome. And so, I've always been big about language, and especially for the past 6 months, I've really been focusing on this. But really at Diamond Club, I realized I could be doing so much more, that there was still a part of me that was undersharing or a little bit nervous. And, after connecting with Dave and Amy in the way that we did, I realized that stuff is kind of just minutia and chatter, and that I really have an obligation to just share this and get people going and help them understand why it's important to invest in themselves this way. Like, people generally don't, and they want to. And if you remind them, then, they'll spend 20 minutes on a connect call telling you why they need this in their lives for the next 90 days. So we really just continue to remind people that, why they want to do this. And then we just make it easy to get set up, because the company's going through tremendous growth also, especially technologically. And while we're working out all those bugs, it's so easy for me to give excellent customer service. I don't ever want any of my customers picking up the phone and dialing the 800 number. Like, I really make it clear to them that I am their customer service liaison. And so I think that's where, people really feel heard, they feel cared about, and they feel like, oh my gosh, I go wait 3 months and then I get to see somebody for 15 minutes. And then here's this person who's checking in with me, and I have a group of people and I have resources, and everybody is, saying things that I really resonate with, and they just really feel how much our team cares. I think that's our biggest secret, really, Mary Beth. And I'll open up some questions for you, because I have a few minutes left if you have any questions.
Well, first and foremost, I'm seeing a lot of people say, can you share those 7 questions? Do you have them, or you could copy and paste them in the chat? That would be great, because those would be great. And one thing that I hear Michelle say a lot to remind people that they want to do this is she often in conversation says, so I'm hearing you say, so I remember you said, because sometimes people will have that block, they'll be like, yeah, I really want to do this. And then they're like, oh, but it costs that much. Oh, but the smart order, like if you feel any of that tension, you can just say, well, what I remember hearing you say, and just remind them, because Michelle's right. We are in a culture where we don't necessarily invest in our health first, even though we should normalize that, right? And that's part of our job, is to help create that vision for people. So I love that you use that language. Go ahead.
Yeah, and then the posture of, I wake up in the morning and I'm in my self-care and my self-practice, and I always say, please let the people who are looking for the solutions I have, help them find me today. I'm not saying I need to find them or let me get them, or I'm just asking that they can find me, that their path is clear to me. And then it could be a connect call through Amy or somebody else, that how they come to me. So my second prayer is allowing me to be cognizant of when those conversations are happening. So when I'm engaged with somebody, whether they're in my inbox or somebody might be bringing me a connect call, I'm already in the posture of, oh, this could be one of those conversations. And so I'm asking them the questions. I spend a lot of the time just letting them kind of get out their story, but then asking them, you know, what they want. And if somebody wants to type this in the chat, like, you know, what do you want? And then when they're done, I ask them to tell me more. Why would you want that? What's holding you back from getting it? What's it costing you not to have these things in your life? You know, what are you willing to do to have that? You know, if I'm working with somebody for 3 months, I want to know that they're coachable and that, you know, they really want this for themselves. I want them to take the reins. And I'm happy to show them everything I know. So you know, and like, why now? That's another really great, you know, question. 1 to 10, how committed are you? And then that's when I make a recommendation. So, and then just the posture of, you know, and, you know, so in the middle of a conversation, I'll say, and when you get signed up, you'll get the email and it'll say a little bit more about this. So that I'm not spending a whole connect call or a call with somebody presenting all the information or getting into the how of how it works. You know, I'm just kind of moving them through to the decision and then letting them know how it works. We're going to get signed up. We're going to get you signed up right. We're going to make sure that your orders are all in place, and we'll see where you're at the end of 90 days, and we'll reassess. It's totally normal. That's how we do things here. So
It's beautiful, Michelle, and those are great questions. Thank you for those. And I love how you're guiding people, because people just want to be guided. You know, a lot of people come into this, they don't know what the heck to do, where to start, like, what do I do? And okay, we have a schedule, we have support, but they also want to be guided and kind of held their hand through the start line, through the finish line. And so I love how you just guide them and you create the plan for them so they don't even have to think about it. Make it easy so they don't have to overthink that health is hard. Right. So
right.
Really good tips, Michelle. Thank you for all that.
And then I made the decision, I'm willing to do that for you, but not at 30 days at a time. Like we're going to work together.
Yeah, that's super good, because you're also seeing the vision of how we need to expand this, and like 30 days at a time is great, but like for long-term sustainability and the massive amount of impact we want to make, we got to go bigger, right? That's why we're going for 15 UBT instead. So awesome. Thank you so much, Michelle. Next, I'm going to bring on Amy, who is on Michelle's team. And was it last month or the month before? Amy had 11 or 13 UBTs. She's really consistent with her retainment as well. And so, Amy, will you come on and just share a few of your tips, a few of your language around how you're normalizing smart order with UBT?
Sure. Thank you so much, Mary Beth. I think, you know, Michelle and I work really close together a lot, especially when I was doing that diamond run. And she's really shown me the value of switching that language to like not needing someone. I don't need a sale. Like I come from a place of service where the people that are searching for what we have are coming to us. And that posture, like when I hit diamond 2 months ago, like that was just from all these seeds that I just keep planting and conversations that I have, and just letting people find their time on their own. Like when you force someone to do this, or when you push them, like that's when they fail and then they don't want to do this again. And so you just really have to let them come to you, present the information, and be like willing to have a conversation with anyone at any time, but letting them figure it out for themselves that this is right for them. And then we do that by asking more questions, like, what are you looking for? What, you know, like not telling them what they need, but letting them figure it out for themselves. I really love using that UBT landing page, because that is an easy, quick way to sign people up where they don't have to enter their credit card twice. But what I found that works even better is really just getting their information, because then you don't even have to mess around with that. You get their information and enter it. And I think that was a
I was a little roadblock I had for a little bit of feeling comfortable about asking them for their information, but I've seen it just be so much more helpful. And then if they have something going on, they can just call me and I can just go in their account and switch it up and stuff. And I have more control to be able to help, which has been really nice, especially if they're sick or older, and computers are, something that sometimes this sign up form can be complicated for people. So just making it as easy as possible and giving that customer service. Yeah, and absolutely, like, it's not a ULT, it's a ULT plus immune every time. Like, that's the norm. The norm isn't a core 4, it's a core 4 plus immune. It should be a core 5. Like, that's what we sell. It's what everyone absolutely needs. And as Dave says, like, we made that specifically like for this time, for what we are all lacking the most is in that nutrient, and being able to explain why our nutrients are so potent, because they're not isolated, man-made, manufactured. Like, these are whole food nutrition. And I think people are kind of getting a gist of that and hearing that a little more and seeing that, oh, that makes sense. So like, if you present that, get that languaging down, that's super helpful to just boost their own experience too. It's not really about us. And I'm really huge on customer service. Like, I think that's one of the reasons why I started this with Purium, was because I was looking for something, and I've seen cleanses and stuff online, but none of them came with the support that I felt like at Pure, with someone that I could talk to on the phone who sat down and explained things for me. And that was huge. And I think that's what a lot of people are looking for. So you can see, this is my whiteboard. So whenever anyone signs up, I had a lot of new signups lately. I like walk them through and I make sure I know what their start date is. And then I kind of figure out when they should be starting day 11, when their parasite cleanses. So I'm checking in with them, and then making sure I'm checking in with them before the smart order goes through, because I'm normalizing that 90 days. I don't want to, I let them figure it out, but I really give them the details of like, we want to work together with 90 days. This isn't a sprint, this is a marathon where you're going to see the most value the longer you stick to this. And you can just do that by sharing my own story or someone else's story. But like, no one wants their smart order to go through without checking in. So like, just doing that favor and following up with them before, like, usually I'm going through my back office and just seeing who has it. And it's helpful to get your people all signed up on the 21st or the same day, so that you can, because it doesn't really show it. You can see like in the back office the points that they have, but then you have to go in deeper to see what day. So doing that is helpful, and just making that part of your monthly ritual, going through your clients. And then but as far as UBT referrals are a really strong point. When I'm asking if their family wants to join them, and always making sure to know that like a customer that is satisfied, that's where I've gotten a lot of other clients, is from them sending them to me. And I think that's because we have good customer service too, and they're referring someone to a person, not just a website. So
yeah, Amy, I really want to just say there's a few things that you said that were really great. Of number one, she's planting so many seeds that it's never like Friday and she's like, I have to get another UBT. It's like the UBTs are coming because I've laid and I've planted a lot of seeds, and I'm in the rhythm of 3 because I've planted so many seeds that it's just kind of a guarantee that 3 are going to fruit that week. So she's not chasing, she's doing the work so that it's there when it needs to be. And she's not like, I need to get a UBT. She's like, I have an opportunity to help someone, and that gets me UBT, right? So it's a posture thing. And I also want to say something you said about the core, or the ULT plus immune. This is really something that Michelle has really led in her team. And it's a difference between 220 points and 250 points when you do just a ULT and then a ULT plus immune. And that 250 really makes the numbers even out, and it's just easy. So that's a good little tip that adds up. Those points add up over time. I mean, 13 UBTs, that's a lot of points that adds up. And then the other thing that both you and Michelle said that I want to highlight is you set your people's smart order date for the same time, middle of the month. So you just know that that's in your routine. Middle of the month, I'm checking in on all my customers, reminding them about their smart order in case we need to make adjustments. That is super smart and systematic, save you a bunch of time. And I also love how super organized you are. I need to do that. I'm like looking at your whiteboard like, okay, that's awesome. And that you're following their journey with you. Because again, happy customers send you referrals. Leslie says it all the time. So thanks so much, Amy. We're going to keep moving along just because we have a couple more shares, but thank you for everything you shared. And next, I want to bring on Laura Guccione because she's been really mastering this UBT thing. And one thing I see her do, like Leslie always says, is she just picks up the phone and talks to people. So Gooch, will you share your UBT magic with us?
Yeah, I will. I want to say thanks too to Michelle and Amy and Shannon too, you guys. That was great info. And I didn't even write down the other person's name. So I'm glad we're doing this. Thank you. The first thing is picking up the phone. And I just said this on a team call, which is going back to the basics, which is truly setting time where you're working and calling people. You can also text or message them, but there's going to be a point when you're following up. The last follow-up should be a phone call. And there's a difference if I'm doing one person here and then I'm busy doing something and spotting people when I'm calling, as opposed to sitting down for a half an hour, I'm doing follow-up and I'm following up with people. That way, when the week is going on, I know how many people I've talked to by Wednesday, how many people I followed up with, and how many people I made new contact with. And I actually have gotten to where I'm thinking of the week starting on Saturday. And like today, I was like, okay, so tomorrow's Thursday. How am I doing? You know, I kind of check in on my week as it goes on with that. I also put stars next. I have a list of people that I go through throughout the week, and I put stars to those that are specifically wanting a ULT. So that's another thing that I do. And yeah, I think that's it. Just constantly following up and constantly making new phone calls. And then as far as like, I really like Amy's whiteboard. I want to do that, but I started a few months ago and I need to share this with my team where I just use a date book. And so I put in when everybody ordered their ULT. And I wanted to ask if we could start getting notified with the tracking number so we can actually see when they get in. Because I'm always calling, did you get the order yet? I want to know when they got the order. Oh, I haven't gotten it. Let me track it for you. Okay, well, we've got to find the tracking number. You know, let's eliminate that step. And if we could get notified when our customer's tracking order, I think that would be awesome. So then I know I always call them the day before, day 11, say, okay, here's what's going on. And for my local people, I used to bring them just a bag of fruit, but now my daughter's done so good with her flex foods. I'm really bringing just a bag of flex foods just to help them going. And then we share different recipes and how easy it is to become to doing that. And then I also like to check in on that last 10 days. I usually am in constant contact with somebody during the 10 days, but on that last 10 days, I love to hear how it's going before the smart order comes.
Great tips, Gooch. And again, just like this extended customer service. I mean, Gooch brings people flex foods because she just really cares and she's just that kind of person. You know, you don't necessarily have to do that, but you can see that, you know, those people give her referrals. I mean, Gooch gets a lot of referrals because she provides that extra level of care. And another thing that you told me on our call yesterday, Gooch, was that she's starting her week on Saturdays. Like she knows that's her start date, but she's starting to plan her UBTs like the week before. So she's like already kind of got her UBTs for that week in the funnel, and what the seeds she's planting, and what she's doing is she's planting for the next week so that she can stay in that rhythm of 3. And I think that's really smart, rather than, oh, it's a new week, I got to get UBTs this week. It's like, plan 1 week ahead each time, and you'll just stay in that rhythm of 3. And Gooch really does that. So
I also express that to my team. I never like call anybody. It hasn't happened to me, at least, where I've called somebody and they want to order a ULT right then. It's my 7th or 8th phone call with them.
And we do always say that. I mean, 7 or 8 follow-ups. Like, people are like, oh, they didn't call me back the first or second time. I'm like, you got 6 more times to call them, or reach out to them, listen to them, So that's key too, the 7th or 8th. And that says you got to plant a lot of seeds, because, 7 or 8 follow-ups, how long of period does that take? So you got to get your seeds planted at different times, right? So that you're not just waiting for one harvest, but multiple harvests at whatever time. So,
and definitely the social media aspect, do daily social media. I just had somebody today say, okay, I think I'm finally ready. If I would have stopped doing social media for a week, she would have dropped off, I bet.
totally. Social media is key. And go check out Laura Guccione on Facebook. You'll see she's just really good at sharing authentically what's going on today, what's on her mind, sharing information on, she's always incorporating what we have to offer and how it's helped her, or a story she heard, or, it's just really authentic and conversational. So thank you, Gooch. We have one more share, and then I am going to share a little bit of languaging that Melissa Hansen shared with us on a Crown call. So hopefully you guys can stay a minute or two late, and then we're going to have Rita jump on and share about the juice cleanse info call that's tomorrow, which you can really leverage this info call to hit UBT this week. So our last share is going to be Heather. And Heather is also part of Michelle's team, who's started to really kind of develop this UBT language, really add that extra level of customer service to keep the retainment and get the referrals. So Heather, jump on and share just a little bit of what you have to share.
Hey, thanks guys. That was like awesome info. I took lots of notes. Can you hear me? Yeah, okay, good. I don't know if I have anything wonderful to share on the languaging. I usually say we're going to support you meeting your goals by setting up a monthly auto ship. And I do what everybody else said. I make it easy for them. I'm the one doing it on my end, customer service wise, putting in all the information and doing it. So it's easy because I'm dealing with a lot of people who are older and really sick. And I do set up, and I think I learned this, at the very beginning from Michelle, everybody's smart order is on the 21st, the last day possible. And so that makes it really easy. I'm always following up as we're getting close to that smart order date with absolutely everybody to see how they're doing. And once they place the order, I do an unboxing with them when they get their products, because I have a lot of people who are really chronically ill. And then 3 days out on the protocol, I do some voice messaging to see how they're doing. And then we'll touch base if they need it in between, but they're always going to get a phone call before their smart order date to see how they're doing, to see if we need to adjust what they're doing. So there's a lot of customer service that goes into the clients that I have. And I think because of that, I'm at the point now where I wake up and I'm always getting referrals now from other people, which is really fun because they're sharing it with people. And now I have people sharing it with their practitioners, and the practitioners are now reaching. I have had 3 practitioners reach out to me this week who wanted to talk. So that gets even more exciting. So I do think it's really about giving really good customer service and you being the go-to person and making it easy for them. I think that summarizes. I think everybody shared so much great info. Thank you. I took lots of notes.
Yeah, thank you, Heather. And I'll just reiterate what she said. We're going to support you in reaching your goals by setting you up on our monthly Smart Order program. Again, so simple. I'm sure she maybe goes into some of the benefits of Smart Order if they ask, but she just keeps it simple. We're going to support you in reaching your monthly goals by setting you up on a Smart Order. She shows them she's in it for the long run with them. So really great. And it is amazing to see how many referrals you get. I remember when you hit Diamond, Heather, it was because you got like a referral for a BP who gave you a referral for a customer. And like, it was just like this slew of referrals that got you to Diamond. So on that note, I want to share, thank you, Heather. I want to share some languaging with you guys. I'll put it in the chat here, but this is how Melissa Hansen, who hit 18 UBTs last month, 18, and she's a 5-star crown in her company. This is what she told us on the crown call the other day. So at the very end of every call that she has with a customer, she says, okay, this is so great. I'm so excited for you. And let me ask you, who do you know that would want to transform with you or that would want to do this transformation? And if they're like, oh, you know what, actually, I bet you my mom or my sister might, this is what she says. She's like, okay, excellent. I'm actually going to text you something right now that you can send to them to get us connected. And she sends them this little script. Hey, Sandy, I'm connecting you with my friend Mary Beth, who just got me started on this amazing health transformation program that I thought you might love to hear about. She knows way more about it than me, so I'm going to let her take over from here. Like on the call, she texts them that so they don't even have to think about it. And she gets that referral going right away. So by the time she jumps off that call, she's got another referral going. And I thought that was brilliant. Because again, she's just making it easy and simple for them. They don't even have to worry about it. So that's something to keep in your back pocket. And then, you know, like Melissa's tips yesterday about going on your IG stories every day, drop a 2 in your chat. If in the chat, if you go and talk live in your stories every day, drop a 2. It cuts you off at like a minute. So it doesn't even have to be long, and shorter the better, to be honest. But this is a way that you can start building that relationship with the people who are watching you. And, you know, just go on and talk about whatever is happening in your life and always weave it in. Like Brittany was saying, just weave it in like, oh, I'm sitting out here drinking my shake today. It's so beautiful. And it reminds me of the sunshine or whatever, just weave it in, you know. And the more you go on your stories, then you can start looking, you can click that little button that shows you who's viewing your stories, and you can constantly keep up with those people, and you know they're going to be constantly watching you. So that's a non-negotiable for Melissa Hansen. Again, I love Brittany's tip of listening to other people's stories as a way to prospect as well. Second tip she gave was pick up the phone and talk to people, which is a consistent theme we heard today. And give excellent customer service, which is also a consistent thing we heard today. If someone is interested, you see it on your social media post, on your story that you did, write it down. And they are part of your follow-up that you're going to follow up 6 or 7 times, build the relationship, grow that relationship. And then the other thing that I love that she said was assume the sale, because everyone really needs this. So don't give up on people. Just don't give up on people. Just hold that space for people. And that's part of what the smart order is like showing people you're not giving up on them in their health journey. So those were a few of Melissa Hansen's biggest tip. And I thought they were really potent. So go ahead and drop 6 in the chat if you're now going to go for 6 UBT this month. Drop a 10 if you're shooting for 10, and drop a 15 if you're going big and you're shooting for 15 based on the information we learned here today. So yeah, awesome. Yeah, Rebecca, I see you in there, 10. Okay, so one of the other things, and then I'll let you guys go, is inviting to calls, right? This is a way to constantly be planting seeds. We have the product and passion call tonight, which is going to be an amazing call. Like literally invite every expecting mom that you know, or anyone who knows moms. This is a way to start planting those seeds and building your UBT funnel for the coming weeks. And one of the calls that we have is this amazing summer juice reset that Rita's taken the initiative to launch for all of us. And we have an info call about it tomorrow. So you can spend the rest of, tomorrow really inviting to this call, and it might lead to some UBTs this week or next week. So Rita dropped the landing page in there, but Rita, will you jump on and just share a little bit about this call and how to leverage it?
Yeah, thanks, Mary. And if you want to screen share, I just put the link in there, and it has the Zoom and all the information in there. But we wanted to do a summer juice cleanse because it's summertime, it's hot. People want to feel good in their bodies. And juicing is a great way. And we have such a convenient way to juice. Like so many people don't have a juicer, or it takes way too much time to juice, and they can't do the cleanup and stay committed to it. So we have 3 kits that we're really offering with this. One is the fruit and veggie pack, which starts, as you know, $3 a day. So that's really getting into the 85%, helping people get healthy, just add more fresh fruit. And one question you can just ask people is, are you getting the recommended daily fresh fruits and veggies? Because most people are not.
Yeah, I'm on a Zoom for about
Um,
another 10 minutes.
And then with that, additionally, if they're a family, they can get the, 3-pack, the fruit and veggie 3-pack. So the family pack is $9 a day. And all of these superfoods, they're not an additional expense. They're substituting your grocery bill, and they're also saving you on your grocery bill. So I never see the superfoods as an expense. I see it as a saving of time, energy, and money. And then we have, the juice bar in a bag. So we're going to be talking about that and our 30-day transformation program. So we're going to be hosting the call. It'll be myself, Nicole Fletcher, who's a doula, Haley, who's also a regenerative health specialist. And we're just going to be sharing why we're excited about this juice transformation and some of the details about it. And we're starting on the 21st, summer solstice. So that's really fun. So our first call is tomorrow. And then we have a second information call that's coming up on the 16th. And we have some great flyers that Mary will put in We on Fire that you can also use to invite to this call tomorrow. It's a great little invite.
Yeah, perfect. So spend from now until this evening inviting to the Products and Passion. And then right after that, I'm going to drop the details for this juice bar call tomorrow. And then we have all day tomorrow to invite to that. So you never know, you can get 3 UBT in one day just because of people that come to this info call, right, and learn about this. So it's really great to leverage that, get your teams there. And yeah, I'm going to let everyone go who needs to jump off. Rebecca, the whole thing about the 85% was at Diamond Club. This is Amy and Dave's really big new vision. They're like, right now we're pretty much serving about 15% of the population. A lot of the people that buy our products kind of already know about health. They're kind of in the know. And where they really want to go with the vision is to actually touch the lives of the 85%, the standard American diet, the people who aren't basically just getting enough fruits and veggies in their life, that at that basic level. And so they want to simplify it for everyone, make it easy. That's why they came out with the fruit and veggie pack. And it's basically like, just talk to people. Are you eating enough fruits and veggies? Do you know how much of an impact that can make in your health if you're not getting the daily recommended amount? And if you are, and here's a super simple, easy solution, because one of the 3 of the things that keep the 85% kind of in that 85% is 1, they say they don't have enough time, 2, they don't have the access, and 3, they don't have the money. And so the fruit and veggie pack is $3 a day, takes 3 minutes a day, delivered to your door. So we're really trying to kind of knock out those barriers for people and really expand the mission of this company as far and wide as we want it to, and really help people step into health, not just continue to live it, which is great, but let's find the 85% and really help them too. So that's that. And thank you all so much. I really appreciate your time. I feel like this was a potent call. I gained a lot. I'm excited. UBT Summer Accelerator, let's go. We have this month, next month, and August for UBT Summer Accelerator. So we have 3 months to really dial in our UBT skills and hit those 6 to 15 UBTs a month. So, all right, y'all. Thank you so much. Hope it was helpful.